Glenn says he listens to the show. He has a real estate question about the home his son is trying to buy. Glenn says the home that the son's buying is repossessed from a bank, I believe. The lender, Randy, this is where you come in. The lender appraiser wants a number of repairs done before the lender will approve the loan. The bank won't make repairs. Glenn and his son have little money. So, and this is not a VA or FHA loan. So Glenn is very concerned, rightly, about laying out money before the closing, and it seems like a catch-22. So, Randy, let's start with you. Let's get your thoughts. What do you suggest here? Because I could see if this was FHA, VA. We've dealt with this type of problem before. What are your thoughts on why would this be an appraisal concern?
Right. So if the appraiser is going to tell you if there's things wrong that won't make it habitable or things that need to be repaired. So a lot of times we can do a construction loan with it, at closing. We can do that. If it's $5,000, $10,000, it's pretty easy. You get into more $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, it's a lot more paperwork and a lot more things you have to do.
It sounds like there's some pretty major repairs is my guess. And that's where I would go deeper because, even in new construction, you can have a brand new home and there's certain things missing. And if the appraiser goes in and those things aren't done that are specific living standards, maybe a toilet or a refrigerator or a stove, things of that nature, the bank's not going to loan you, correct, Randy? I mean, they're just going to say, no, you need these things in. And if they're not there, then you can't buy the house. And either the seller needs to get them in the house, the builder needs to get them in the house, whoever, but they need to be paid for before a bank will give you money to purchase that house.
Remember, this is a repoed property.
So it's repo. So that's exactly probably what's going on. There's there's nobody. Yeah.
Right. Now.
Yeah. So we could do construction loans on a repo and to Greg's point, it might be there's probably things that are not functional. So we'd have to go in and get estimates by a contractor, put it in escrow, and then have them have draws after closing. So we would close on the house and then have draws after closing.
Yeah, and so the question, from my memory in talking with Glenn, the worst part that I can remember is one of the rooms missing carpeting, which I can see, but the other items were minimal in my mind. Chuck, any thoughts on why an appraiser gets that deep into the weeds on this?
Well, I can never tell you what any appraiser will care about on any given day. Like I said, I've seen some appraisers come back saying the house has ghosts. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. But just from a legal perspective, you don't want to pay the money that the seller should be taking care of prior to closing. Because if it doesn't close, you're out the money. Now, as you pointed out on VAs and FHAs, this could be a felony if you do it ahead of time. But that's not the situation here. But I have seen on these bank repos, commissioner sales, things like that, a lot of times if you try and go to a conventional financing outfit, you're not going to be able to get it. Like when you buy a piece of property from a commissioner sale, the commissioner is not going to sign anything except a deed. That's all they're signing. No settlement statements, no nothing. It's more of a purchase than it is a purchase. Okay. So
wait, is that a new word you've just made up, a purchase?
Actually, it's not. It's been the word used by the variety of banks that do that kind of loan for quite a while, but it's kind of like a refinance purchase. So a purchase.
Okay.
But there are banks that do that because that's what you run into with commissioner sales. Now, if it's a bank repo, either a deed in lieu or more likely, the bank bought it back through foreclosure. You're still operating under basically the same rules. Now, I'm sure Randy has the product. I know a variety of banks that have a construction to perm type product where, you get the place fixed up and then once that's all done, then it just rolls right into permanent financing. Or you can go to the banks the investors use when buying properties out of a commissioner sale. But I don't know why this appraiser has done it. I suspect because they're trying to do conventional financing. And then they see something major like there's no toilets in the place or, something that would suggest it's not actually livable or habitable.
Flooring is absolutely one we run in. I mean, it's an absolute.
So, Glenn, what I would tell you to do, if you're thinking about this and you want to move forward and this is a stalemate, and it sounds like it is, I would tell you to call Randy And I'll give the phone number out in a little bit. I would call them and discuss maybe moving it to Swan and letting them do a construction loan, which I think.
My other question would be for something like that. Can you just throw some paint on the floor, on the subfloor?
There you go.
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah, but Bob, when you tell your fellow, to go, it's not just a construction loan. It's a construction to perm. So it's not like you have, because with construction loans, they have a certain period of time and the interest rates are usually pretty harsh. But when you do the construction to permanent financing, it really is just a one transaction, fairly smooth.
Well, and also, Chuck, we can do that at closing and then put the money in escrow. Yeah,
right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Glenn, I think
so it's not just a construction loan.
Yep, yes. You got the path. We'll give you the number. Get a pencil and paper. By the way, if you want to see this show again or hear it again and see it at the same time, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's a redirect